This week we're taking a dive back into Gloomhaven to have a deeper look at its Guildmaster mode. Until the full single-player campaign comes out, this will be your focus, and to be honest, once it does come out, this will probably still be your focus. Imagine being able to groom and grow a cast of your favorite characters, getting to know them over a long-running, open-ended campaign. Just as with Mordheim and Necromunda, this mode will be my favorite. Let me tell you why I think it should be one of yours. Gloomhaven is, at its heart, a wonderfully crafted, card-based tactical dungeon crawler battler. The rules can be picked up over the course of a short but very effective tutorial, and as one would expect, mastery does not come easily. We won't get into the fantastic battle mechanics and systems in this review. Our last Gloomhaven video did that, so please give it a look if you're interested at all. You should find a handy link in the upper right corner. This time we're going to have a very brief look at Guildmaster mode. In this mode you will take your guild of adventurer archetypes acquired over the course of the mode's tutorial out into the world. And what a fun world it is! Your quests will generally have you unlocking new map locations or revisiting locations already unlocked to acquire items and XP. I'm not sure how many scenarios are available at this early point in release, but news seems to indicate that further scenarios are being added all the time, and I certainly hope this continues to be the case. Traveling from location to location, you might trigger an encounter. These encounters are simple stories at the end of which you are given a choice, and depending on that choice, you might receive a reward, a status effect, or nothing at all. It's a small mechanic, but adds that hint of random reinforcement for good or ill to the future encounters. Once you've reached your quest location, it's into the scenario and on with the battle mechanics that you know and love. As we discussed in our last review, Gloomhaven manages to achieve a delicate balance between tactical and puzzle-like mechanics where success is largely deterministic, but there is still enough uncertainty to undermine even the best-laid plans. It's a game of combos, placement, ordering, and dwindling resources. And its synergistic interplay between your characters is really what shines. Except in rare cases, you can't blindly rush in and hope to survive to the end of the room, and less likely in a second. Consider your tactics carefully before setting out. After finishing the tutorial in which each class is cleverly introduced with a series of puzzles, your guild will be let loose on the world. Now, by default, you'll have two characters selected for your away team. These two characters, the Brute and the Scoundrel, are characterized as low difficulty, so they're perfect for starting out. You're allowed up to 4 characters in your team, and having tried combinations of 2, 3, and 4, it's clear that complexity increases rapidly. This is not just because the scenario difficulty cleverly scales by level and number, but because the game requires a full understanding of the interplay of your characters. Trying to figure out the optimal combination and placement becomes a huge but exciting challenge. I look forward to someday being able to do that with ease. But if you do find the challenge a little too great, stop in at your local temple for a blessing. For a fee, you can buff your characters, granting them an advantage in the next battle. Note that the blessings are applied per character and not en masse. Now let's take a look at progression. Of course, completing quests will earn your characters not only that most delicious XP, but also money, consumables, new equipment, and unlocks. These are all fairly well understood standards, and they work just fine here. A secondary means of progression is provided by a set of goals. These goals are of the deal X damage or collect X gold varieties, and will naturally unlock over the course of play. You really don't have to go out of your way to work on them. They can also unlock relic quests. These are exceptionally difficult quests. In other words, make sure to hit the temple first and stock up on potions. How difficult? The first one I unlocked was for a Ring of Protection. And this sounds awesome, but here's the catch. Not only are the mobs more difficult, but the very dungeon itself applies a damage over time effect. Not impossible, but you really have to be on your game to beat it. Early on in your guild's life, you'll unlock the store. The store opens with simple sets of equipment allowing you to buy and sell as customary, You can expand its inventory by completing quests. But here's the thing about equipment. After either buying or looting equipment, they can be equipped to an eligible character, but interestingly, any piece on a character becomes bound to that character and requires gold to remove. And at first I didn't like that idea, to be honest. Outside of unwashed clothes in college, removing my garments has never required exceptional effort. But in practice, it's not as bad as it seems, and serves to discourage constant min-maxing and equipment sharing and twinking. All in all, it kind of comes out in the wash as being a good balancing act. There are a lot of games that are frustrating, not because of what they provide, but because of what they could have been. And to be honest, at first I was worried Gloomhaven was going to fall into that trap. But it doesn't seem to be the case. I'm already spitballing some ideas around in my head. For example, I hope that someday soon the level editor will include the ability to create an overworld map and author full campaigns. Between the amazing work already done in the scenario editor, the auto-scaling, and this feature request, it's not too hard to believe we could have an unending source of adventures for your guild. Whether this is just some great rule system design or the ability of the developer to translate it into a playable game, it doesn't matter. As an old-school gamer and developer since the late 70s and early 80s, very few of the thousands of titles I've played have really clicked with me. I'm thrilled to be able to say Gloomhaven is one of them. I'm going to continue to follow the game's development closely and will be sharing those impressions regularly. Gloomhaven is being developed by Flaming Fowl Studios and published by Asmodee Digital. It's out in early access today on Steam for just $24.99, and if you're even slightly into dungeon crawling, tactical games, or even puzzlers, I don't think you could go wrong by picking this one up today. So that's our review of Gloomhaven. If you've played it, what was your experience? Please leave a comment below and let us know. Also, feel free to add any questions or suggestions. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. It would be greatly appreciated and really helps out a lot. Thanks for watching.